Surviving Reality contains explicit content full of snark and sarcasm that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Reality.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is the conclusion of MomTok Marathon. This is Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Season 4, Episode 9 and Episode 10, the Book of Coveting and the Book of Thorns and Roses.
Not to be confused with, your Thorn and Rose for the season or your Whitney Rose.
A different meaning on this show versus on Housewives.
Very different. Yeah, different meanings, different, conclusions that can be reached for any of those things too. Definitely not Whitney Roses. Even though there is Whitney involved in, is she the Thorn or is she the Rose? I guess we'll have to see.
I think a lot of people think she's a Thorn.
Honestly, Whitney for me this season, I think she cleared it. I think she cleared it.
She stayed out of everything.
She stayed out of, she was doing her own thing. Like, she was only here for Dancing with the Stars. We knew that. Yeah.
She did make that clear.
And she made that abundantly clear repeatedly. And so that's really what she stuck with, I guess.
Where her focus has been the whole time.
Yeah.
Before we get into it, do want to give a trigger warning up front that there is going to be discussion of disordered eating. And then also there's the ongoing discussion of sexual abuse.
Yeah, we got to be careful with even just calling it out like that too, because stuff flags it. Yeah.
I know,
so,
it was pretty far up in the episode.
Might have gotten in trouble already, so too late.
I'm trying to issue a trigger warning for people who may not want to listen.
I know, yeah, but even just saying that, YouTube's like, what was that? They said the thing. Don't say the thing. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's Barney Fife who's reviewing all of the YouTube alerts though that I read in my voice there.
I don't know who that is.
From the Andy Griffith Show? You don't know Barney Fife?
No, that's a reference a bit too old for me.
It's a deep track. It's a deep track. You got to get on par with. Okay, let's talk about this show, not Andy Griffith. Okay?
Thank God.
Agreed?
Yeah. So where we left off was MomTok had their emergency meeting to figure out what they're going to do about the fact that Taylor has yet again messed around. Or Dakota has messed around with Taylor's friends.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she's doing the mess around. That's different.
No.
Okay. No, this is just a group of people trying to determine how they're going to manage Taylor's emotions, which is impossible. You can't manage Taylor's emotions. Nobody can. Especially not Taylor, though. And that's what they're worried about. Okay, when we do tell her, because we're going to have to tell her, because I'm pretty sure Dakota's not going to tell her. He wants us to tell her. That's why he hasn't been doing it directly, but he's been doing all these stupid, obvious things so that she does find out because he doesn't want to tell her. So it's got to come from us. Where do we do that? Do we do that in like a closed MomTok meeting behind closed doors that we, keep this in-house?
They've done that before. It didn't
They've tried
well.
that. It didn't work. Yeah, she got upset. So let's do public forum in front of a large group of people.
A whole bunch of people who are there for an event.
Sinner Sunday.
That is being held by Macy?
Yes.
So is this related to, so doesn't she post this stuff on like her Instagram? She did Sinner Sunday.
Yeah, like that was her
recurring thing. Is that the extent of what it is?
It was a website where people anonymously spill the tea to her about stuff. And then, yeah, she posts about it. So I think that was the basis of it.
Like a blind item.
Yeah, or like there was a couple different websites like that, or Post Secret. Remember that? Like that was a thing where people would send mail to this mailbox that, and then they would post it.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, but I'm like, that's what she's doing.
That's the whole thing here.
She's making money off of that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and now they're doing live events, meetup events too.
Yeah, that I'm sure you had to buy a ticket for.
Most likely,
unless you're in MomTok
to cover the bill. I mean, there were fire eaters and. Were they fire breathing too?
There was a lot happening at that party.
There was like a whole setup of a confession booth. I don't know if you had to like crawl through the confession booth to get into the space. Like that was part of the experience.
Maybe you have to make a confession before you get in.
Oh, maybe.
That's kind of fun.
That would make sense, I guess. Yeah. What would I confess to that? I don't know. My deep love and affinity for the Andy Griffith Show. I guess that's my confession
God,
for this
boring.
episode. Yeah, that's why I'd never be invited to any of this stuff.
But they're going to tell her in front of a whole bunch of people because I'm sure that's really going to temper the reaction that they get.
Yeah, she didn't do so well in the closed group when it was just us around her. So maybe if there's other people, she'll behave herself. No. I don't think so. No. I think that's putting a lot of blind trust into Taylor's ability to navigate this.
Now, I pitched my own idea, which was I think they should have a MomTok meeting, and they start off by collecting everyone's phones and putting them in a Faraday bag.
Right. Yeah.
And like they make it like that's the theme of the night is like we're disconnecting from the outside world. And then they tell her when she has no ability to freak out, call someone, start texting people, posting things online. She needs like a break from any devices that she can access for a certain period of time.
She needs to go camping with the Johnstons.
Yeah, they need to disable the Wi-Fi wherever they do this.
She'd be doing it from her watch, though, or something. Yeah, she'd have some other way.
We got to cut her off.
Bluetooth.
She's got like an extra phone in the car.
Yeah. Oh, she's got a burner for this. Yeah, definitely. A Nextel. Something tells me, right? She's still got one of those saved up.
I had a roommate who had a Nextel phone, and you would just hear the sound all night.
That chirp.
Yeah.
That's a very distinct Nextel chirp. Definitely. Yeah.
Why was it like a walkie-talkie?
It's for drug dealers. I don't know. Those are the only people I know who had them.
I had many interesting roommates in college.
Those are the only people who I know who had them. Either that or it was just like, yeah, you'd see people like walking around amusement parks and stuff using them because they would get them just for that. And it was like using it for the walkie-talkie.
Just to communicate while they're at the amusement park?
Yeah. Well, and here's a fun fact about me. That used to be like a way that people would use walkie-talkies in amusement parks to like keep in touch with each other. This was before cell phones, guys. So how do you send off your teenage kids to go do, whatever rides they want to go on and stuff. And then they're off separate, but then you want to stay in touch with them. You use a walkie-talkie.
I've never heard of this.
People were using walkie-talkies. But then I would have a walkie-talkie there and I would just bounce around on channels and mess with people. So I would just like interrupt people on their walkie-talkie.
Evil.
Used it for nefarious purposes.
That's something that you could have confessed to get into Sinner Sunday.
Oh, I guess that, yeah. I mean, it wasn't really like, it wasn't a criminal thing, I suppose. It was mostly just trolling people and just annoying them and confusing them or doing goofy voices and responding to things. And then they're like, who is this on this channel? And then they can't find you because it's a walkie-talkie. So it's fun. It was fun at the time. That's what I was doing at amusement parks sometimes. You can only go on so many rides and then just gets boring.
I wasn't a ride person, so I didn't have this problem because I just followed wherever the rest of everyone wanted to go.
You could have held on to the walkie-talkie, and that's how you could have entertained yourself in that time. I'm just saying, there's other things that you can do with your time if you're not going to go on the rides. Yeah, definitely.
Well, as of this moment, it seems like Taylor is still going to be going on The Bachelorette. She doesn't know anything about what Dakota did yet. And her mom and sister are like really trying to gas her up to go. Because everybody's getting worried that as the clock starts to tick down, that she's going to back out of this.
Taylor tends to nuke whatever good thing is going on in her life.
She really tends to fuck things up right at the end there.
So, especially even with like I almost said the AMAs. No, the
CMAs.
The CMAs, yeah, different. Okay, so yeah, at the CMAs, it was like she had that whole blow up about how like nobody reposted it, nobody commented on it, and so that was like this big thing, and then there was drama attached to it. I personally think that was just a way to get more exposure on like her being there and stuff, is to have like some big
part of a
make
storyline.
It's like the secondary thing that happens because she posted about it. That got some engagement initially. That was the run. But then the story after the story is, oh no, nobody from MomTok commented on it. And then that continues this conversation where people are still talking about Taylor being on the CMAs.
Very interesting.
So it becomes...
I haven't really taken Taylor as being like that calculated yet.
No?
Whereas I feel like Whitney, Demi, some of the other ladies, I do think some of the other women I do think are calculated. I feel like you could say ladies on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
They aren't ladies, though. These ladies aren't ladies.
It's like a different bar,
It's yeah, I get what you're saying though. I'm picking up what you're putting down in terms of not referring to these gals. Maybe gals?
I don't think Taylor's mom would call her a lady.
No. Yeah, like definitely she would not be agreeing on that. But then also they're trying to like brace it with like, yeah, you're like fucked up. And there is like a ton of baggage here. There's a lot of stuff, but that doesn't mean that you like don't deserve love or you don't deserve good things, even though we constantly remind you how horrible you are.
So her mom and her sister are like trying to hype her up, and be excited for her to go do this. But then at the same time, they cut her down with the compliments they're trying to give. Like, you have a lot of baggage, but there's a lot of like good about you too.
There's good. Well, not like a lot of good, but there's good stuff in there.
Enough to, I guess, offset the baggage? Maybe.
Not to
people.
Maybe not to fully offset, but
for
I
the
think
person that's your person who you may find there, that may be the case.
They won't, the baggage won't be deal breaking for them, and that'll be okay. Maybe, hopefully in your case.
I don't know if this is what it is, but it's like the undertone of the Mormonism-ness of it all,
Well, it shows insight into, okay, if this is the level of support for what Taylor's receiving.
There's always a layer of judgment to it.
Yeah, or just a little reminder of you suck a lot. You're pretty crappy, but like that doesn't mean that you don't.
You still got this opportunity.
Yeah, don't mess this up then, okay? Like everything else you do.
Somehow that all worked. She's very excited to go now.
Now
she healed herself on that trip, screaming at her mom going to Colorado.
She vented a lot of that. Yeah, she doesn't have an urge to yell at anybody right now at this moment.
She's in a good place.
Soon though.
Momentarily.
Soon though, things might change. But in the meantime,
they're trying to create a new rivalry for next season with Jen and Whitney, and I don't know how I feel about it because I was liking Jen this season.
Yeah.
And then the last few episodes, I felt like there was a turn, and now I'm disliking her. Yeah. And I don't know if that's how it's going to be received by most other people just because of how much Whitney is disliked.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get us wrong. We were at the front of the line for disliking Whitney.
Yeah.
I like her this season. It turned around for me. It's different now.
I like now that she's being authentically herself. Just be honest about the fact that you're here for what other opportunities this show's going to get you.
100%. Yeah, I think that's what it's coming down to. That's what it is. That's like the big basis of it for why there's an appeal now and why I'm agreeing with her on some stuff. Not everything, but just I like her more this season.
Also, guys, we saw that Mark is going to be performing with Whitney, and Mark from Dancing with the Stars and the Traders is going to be doing a short run of Chicago with her. Very excited. We're gonna go. I think we're gonna go.
Yeah, we'll have to report
because now it's both of them.
Yeah.
Now
how can we not?
Unmissable.
Because we were gonna go when they announced, because that becomes part of this whole episode too. Is there's the announcement of Whitney as Roxy Hart in Chicago on Broadway. That becomes
way ahead of
becomes a big part of the storyline here between Whitney and Jen too. But when they did announce the initial run, and we were like, oh, we should go to that, and then it was, I think we were getting inundated with stuff on that initial run.
The tickets sold out fast too.
The tickets sold out real fast, and then they extended it, and then when they extended it again, they said that Mark was going to come and do some performances too. So we were like, ooh, we definitely got to get in on those. So we kind of caught it in a window here where it was like they had just kind of re-announced that. So I think we're able to get that confirmed now. And so
we'll let you know what we think about,
we'll let you know.
Is
we'll keep
Whitney
you posted.
Talented enough to be on Broadway?
Is she,
I mean, obviously this is a casting decision that's made to, so that role of Roxy Hart is like a revolving door of people who, have fame in other ways.
Like Lisa Rinna.
Like, yes.
Legend.
It is to sell tickets, and her run has been very, very, very successful.
Very successful. Yeah, when they extend it twice and then they're bringing in other people too, like, yeah, that's pretty good. You're doing good.
She's going to end up getting more stuff.
I think she's going to get more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, is what that's going to lead to.
I guess we'll see how good she is. Like, I've heard that she has a good stage presence.
Yeah.
That I think people have gone in with lower expectations just because they do feel like it's a casting decision made to sell tickets.
Right.
And then they're like, wait, she actually is like talented at this.
And up to par with,
like she can actually perform. Mm-hmm. It's not everyone else performing around her.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
well, that's good.
We'll make our own determination.
We'll let you guys know. Yeah.
We're kind of critical.
Right. Go figure. Tend to be.
But that's the whole basis of this rivalry between them, is that Whitney,
I think it's jealousy. Yeah,
I think it is too.
Is what it comes down to.
So Jen starts off by saying like she's annoyed with Whitney now because she feels like Whitney's different when the cameras are up.
Right.
And that she's trying to like make it seem like there's more of a friendship than they actually have.
Like cheering her on, specifically on the set of Dancing with the Stars, where there's a lot of support that's visual and apparent on the set, but then she's not really feeling that from like a friendship level. They're still kind of arm's length, distant, not really.
So she feels like it's fake when Whitney's like cheering her on when the show is being filmed.
But also, like, Whitney had mentioned a point too where she was having a really rough day with rehearsal. Something was going on. She was stressing out, reaching kind of a breaking point, and she was crying, talking to Mark. And then Jen came in, happened to be walking through the studio too, and saw her crying. And Jen just came over and said, "Oh, was somebody being mean to you on social media?" Like, that was her first initial guess of like, oh, Whitney's crying again. Did somebody say something on social media? And it's like, maybe don't open with that.
No, well, the worst part of it was that wasn't why she was upset.
No,
but then she found out there was stuff being said online.
Yeah, so
like,
then it's like
piled on with what she was already having a hard time with.
Yeah, so not really like the support that you'd be looking for in this time, sort of a thing. Like, it feels different. Yeah, that doesn't feel like a big friendship sort of role that's being played here.
So then Zach tells her that he found out about Whitney getting cast in this Broadway show because Connor told him.
Yes.
And this is the first Jen has heard of it.
So this is Zach telling Jen.
He heard through the grapevine that Whitney got this role.
Right.
And I am sorry, but Jen seems jealous.
Jen seemed, it seemed like it was
I'm not
one of those
trying to
moments.
make it like everyone's jealous of Whitney.
No.
It feels very Mean Girls. But I think that would be hard when you're putting in the same amount of work as someone else is, and this is the same dream that you have, to see them then excel to another level that you're not being offered similar opportunities
Her
to
scores are through the roof on Dancing with the Stars, and then also any other additional opportunities are coming her way, not Jen's way.
Which also, the stuff she was talking about when she referenced like, oh, are you upset because of what's being said online about you? That was because while Dancing with the Stars was on, there was a big controversy about whether Whitney should even be on the show or not.
Because she has a dancing
She has a dance degree from BYU.
It's from BYU. I mean, that's what we were saying. It's not Juilliard. It's not, but still,
the level that she started at was where a lot of people end at on the show.
Like, maybe if they're lucky. I mean, she has performance experience.
A very obvious difference in the skill level between her and some of the other people who were on the show. And so people started to feel like it was unfair because she was just doing so well week after week that no one else is really like on the same plane.
I think people just want the Irwin to take his shirt off. I think that was a big majority of what was going on at the time, too. That's really what I remember.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. That was most of... I mean, so for the people
like
who are...
fast forward to Whitney's dance.
Yes. Watch that.
All right. I'll watch Jen's dance because I have to.
And then all the
Where's
horny
the
moms
Irwin?
are like, yeah, where's the Irwin? Pop the shirt off. Like, I need to finish tonight, you know?
Oh,
like...
Wait, was Dylan Efron also on this season?
Oh,
I think he was.
Maybe.
So it was like Dylan Efron and Robert Irwin. Like, I think a lot of people were watching for them too.
Okay. Yeah.
I just didn't want to forget
Not
about
Andy
him.
Richter?
Not Andy Richter.
Damn. It's unfortunate.
All right. So then we have another update of what's going on with couples, right? We start getting into the state of the marriages that are left on this show.
And what's left of the marriages.
Yeah. Jesse wants to get rid of Jordan, right? Are we all in agreement on that? She's ready to dump this dude.
She keeps saying that, like, maybe we'll give it another year. And I think that's to get, like, everything pieced together for her, buttoned up.
Jesse's making appointments with every divorce attorney within a 50-mile radius of Salt Lake City, and she needs some time to do that.
Yes, and she doesn't want Jordan to know that she's doing that.
No, she's getting her consultation with everyone so that he can't then use them.
Right. Yeah, that seems to be the strategy here going into it.
Yeah, I do think she's like getting her ducks in a row.
Yeah, and this is where she's then pitching to Jordan, hey, not getting divorced. That's not a thing. That's not on my radar. I know we were talking about it, but I want to bring up, I was going to start using my maiden name. So, like, just going with Jesse Draper because it's easier to say. It just rolls off the tongue.
I'm glad that they're addressing it because I think we talked about this in the last episode or the one before, that she's noted as an executive producer and her name is Jesse Draper.
Yes, right. And so this is becoming apparent. She's starting this process where she's floating the idea to Jordan. It's not a personal attack. It's not a slight on you. It's not to undercut the marriage. It's not leading to a divorce, even though seems like.
Then they cut to her confessional and she's like, oh yeah, I mean, like if we got divorced, this would make it so much easier for me professionally.
I would rather, just, what everything that I'm building up right now, I need to be doing it under that name. So then that way, if we do get to that change by some way, shape or form, somehow I end up back at my unmarried name, it's not going to confuse people.
No, and then later on in the episode, we see her get a call from an attorney because she had a meeting with her dad and they went through the prenup that she and Jordan had signed when they first got married. And they realized that there's like a line for witnesses and there were no witness signatures. So, red flag.
Yeah, might have voided the entire thing. Whoopsie doopsie.
Yeah, so they have to call a lawyer to talk through it and review the contract and see if the contract is even valid.
And
because
so,
if it's not, she really, really messed up.
Okay, because here's the problem, is what she's divulging throughout this episode then is like her net worth when they got married, not nearly as much as where she's at right now. The partnerships she's made, the different programs and stuff that she's done through her businesses, like there's a ton of stuff where this is like, we're talking millions of dollars that could be at stake here in terms of divorce action that would, lead to this. So it's just like, this is going to be a really big mistake if that's the case.
Yeah, and she's worried that he's going to be a vindictive person if they get divorced and there's no prenup in place.
Yeah.
Which I get the vibe. Especially,
yes.
I don't know family law in Utah and whether or not there's any prejudice against like the person who maybe causes the marriage to fall apart.
Well,
I know
I
I'm not
would
saying
say
that correctly.
no. Yeah, I know. Like you're basically saying, like, alluding to that Jordan would definitely tout the infidelity aspect
Yes.
as like he deserves, all of the access to everything that he's entitled to.
Yeah.
Basically,
Again, I don't know, like, if that's even a valid argument, but
well, if you don't have a prenup, it's like or a valid prenup, then that was, signed by all the parties involved that needed to be.
he just seems like a gross guy who would, like, use custody of the kids as a way to, like, hold up the divorce and negotiate other things that he wants. I would be worried about him too if I were her.
Yeah. And that's the soundbite. We figure out it's through that conversation with her dad where she's like, Jordan's not an easy guy to be married to. I think he'd be even harder to divorce. And her dad just went,
might be worth it. It's worth it. However much money you lose to get rid of this guy, it might be worth the price tag.
Oh, man. Well, because I know, but that's where I didn't like her dad just went, yeah. Like, he just agreed with that sentiment of, yeah.
Not bad. They've only been married for 5 years, and I feel like her dad has a really, really negative opinion of him.
Oh, yeah, this is not boding well for anybody involved at this point. It's going to be a total shit show. Is really what it comes down to.
I hope we get to see it play out.
I hope so too. Yeah, I hope she gets that prenup straightened out. Maybe, but like, yeah. It's such a tough call because it's like, do you go through with it still then just because you know that you're going to be getting bent over a barrel here, so to speak?
Well,
allegedly.
I don't know how we're going to segue that into Mikayla and Jace's marriage.
They're between a rock and a hard place.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, we're recording this after the episodes have dropped. And I saw that this story about Mikayla and Jace breaking up or splitting up is getting a lot of publicity.
Okay.
At least like here the first day that the show's been dropped.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they're making it out to be a lot more than it is.
Oh, okay.
Like,
because this is like separation. It's not them divorcing.
No.
It's not them dancing around it because their prenup didn't have signed witnesses like Jesse and Jordan.
Yeah.
No, this is like they're at an impasse where they don't know how to work on things together. Mikayla has a ton of stuff that she needs to sort out individually. She's feeling more pressure from the couple's issues that they have going on too. So I think this is just a way to kind of take a step back and then focus on their own individual growth here. So then that way they can come back together.
Yeah, I just feel bad that like the root of why they're considering the separation is because she needs to work through her trauma and hasn't been able to do that when they're living in the same house together.
Yeah.
Because there's this added pressure of like, how quickly are you doing this? Because in the meantime, I have like needs and wants and desires that like aren't being addressed. I think it's kind of gross that that's being sensationalized as this big breakup and that that's what's being focused on versus like the very real experience that a lot of people have where they, have been essayed at some point in their life and it creates, lifelong difficulties in intimacy.
Yeah.
I'm like, That's like the actual story.
Right.
That I feel like should be talked about. But instead they're like, oh my God, are they breaking up? They're getting divorced.
Yeah.
Like it's gossip.
Right.
That's what I didn't like about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's pretty much like an overview of what's happening between them because they've been talking about this for like 3 seasons now.
Yeah, and they were making some progress, but then you saw it was like they kind of took a step away from.
It sounded like the only therapy stuff that they went to was whatever they filmed.
Right.
And then that was it.
So I guess I understand where like Jace's concern is where he's like, it seems like you're avoiding this. And then like she's trying to say, oh, there's so many other things that are going on because like she had a baby, she had, so it's like there's a lot going on. Yes.
Right. Her skin condition is flaring up. And then when she adds more stress to her life, it gets worse.
Yeah.
So it's like it's already not good, and it's moving the direction of like it keeps getting worse rather than better. And opening, a can of worms with working on trauma, I'm sure she's worried, like, how much worse could it get?
Right. Well, I still think that, like, personally, my assessment would be like those things could very well be related as well. Of like the flare-ups that you're experiencing are related to.
It could
we
be.
kind of started to.
Your body's holding on to that trauma.
Yeah.
And, it is something that impacts you on a daily basis, whether or not you consciously are thinking about it.
And like we kind of started to dig into that a little bit. And then we backed off. So then it's like, okay, well, now you're not fully in on like we got to get in here and like work through this stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't fully dive in on that. So now you're kind of trying to retreat back to what were my other ways that I've dealt with this in the past. I just kind of bulldoze over that and stuff it down. So then that way it gets, deep in there again, where it's just like in the recesses of my brain where I'm not thinking about it right at the surface here, where it kind of came to the surface now.
I think the hard part is that because she lives her life online, like there are also people are really mean to her when it comes to noticing things about her skin.
Yeah.
Like they see videos and they make comments about it.
Right.
So I'm sure then that adds to the stress of like, okay, now this is like an obvious thing that people are observing and they're making comments about it. And she already feels anxious about like when is her skin going to start to look better. And she's dealing with people constantly commenting about it online. Like I kind of feel like what would be beneficial to her would be to take a social media break. But I understand that's also her business.
That's her job. Yeah.
That's her job.
Yeah.
So
it's tough.
Yeah, I think what's happened is it's like, well, what's the thing that I can put at the bottom of the list? And it keeps being working on her trauma.
Working on trauma or working on stuff with with Jace. Because Jace ends up calling Connor.
Yes.
And Jace breaks down on that call because it's like, oh, hey, how's it going? Not good. Like, it's really bad, actually. Like, we haven't made any progress here, and then like this disconnect just keeps getting worse. Like it's feeling like we're so on opposite ends of the spectrum right now where it's just like, what do we even do?
And I feel bad for him because the way he's explaining it to Connor is that he feels really disconnected from her and that he just wants like this closeness and connection that he gets through sex.
Well, and he's saying like, yes, the sex is like an aspect of that, right? Mm-hmm. But like for him, what he is missing more is that feeling of intimacy or just feeling like his wife loves him. Like that's something that he's missing right now. I wish
they would go to therapy together so that they can find out like what are ways that we can start to express like our love for each other or the connection that we have without it being something maybe sexual.
Yeah.
That makes her uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah.
That would be like a good first step so that he starts to feel like that's not completely missing.
Yeah.
As she gets more and more comfortable with getting ready to work on the other stuff.
Yeah. And I've seen stuff like that too, where like couples will come up with like little secret cues or things like that, or like so like for a reassurance type thing, it's like a little squeeze of the hand that signals, even though I'm not verbally saying I love you on a daily basis, when I do that, it's communicating that to you of like, it's the same, you can take that the same way as I love you, and then that is something that I am more comfortable doing. Something along those lines, like where it's like
need therapy.
They need the therapy though. Yeah, they need this work. Because I think what Jace is struggling with is where he's like, I'm not just like wanting sex, like that's what it boils down to, or like that's what it sounds like. It can come across as like that's what it's the issue. Because Mikayla even said when she was venting to Macy, she's like, at certain points, I'm just like, then just go fuck somebody. Like, I don't want it. And it's like, no, I know, but like, that's not the problem. Like,
right.
like he wants the connection with you. And like, that's what's missing.
I'm assuming though for Mikayla that because of her life experience, that the idea of sex and intimacy being intertwined, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for her.
Yeah.
But I think those things are very divorced from one another.
Yeah.
And what he's saying is that he experiences it the other way.
Yes, you're right.
Whereas I don't know that that's how she processes those experiences.
Yeah. So this just adds more pressure. The pressure is mounting because then it's like, what do we do? Because what Mikayla needs right now is not what Jace needs, and what Jace needs right now is not what Mikayla needs. And so it's like, we can't both get what we need together. So we do need to take some time apart and kind of work through this individually, basically.
So they decide that they're going to take a break.
Yeah.
And she moves out. I don't know to where. Macy came and picked her up.
If it was like to Macy's house,
that's kind of what
like
I assumed, but they like didn't show us.
Didn't really say. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's going somewhere else for a while.
Yeah.
And then,
but staying in contact, because then that was the thing too, is she was like, I still want to see the kids, and like, we're going to be talking every day. So it's not like a trial, separation, leaving, divorcing sort of process. This is like, we need to take some time apart to work on ourselves as individuals, and then hopefully we can get to a place where then we're better partners for each other at a later date.
Well, Jace suggested that this break last until she can commit to going to trauma therapy. And I think even that scared her.
Yeah, like that was too definitive.
Yeah, because I kind of think she's not, I really don't think that she's open to doing that right now.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, like that was another disconnect point though of them, of like where Jace is saying, hey, I want you to be able to do this. And then she's like, I don't know if I can do that. So then it's just, that's another layer of the complexity and the pressure that she's experiencing, where then that's why she's saying, I need to take a step back. I have to be selfish for a period of time if that's how it wants to be, seen or portrayed or labeled or whatever. But like, I need this time so I can heal. So what does that look like? I can't commit to that right now. I want to heal too. I don't know what that timeline looks like though.
I thought it was so nice when Macy came and picked her up and then like said something to Jace about, if you need to talk to someone, like you can talk to me, you can talk to Jacob. I think they're the only two people on the show who have an actual friendship.
Yeah, is what it really seems like.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Also, I'm glad that we moved away from like their whole like mean girl thing that they were doing last season, where they were like trying to hunt out the truth about what was going on with Demi, and I think the shtick got a little old.
I mean, they brought it back a couple of times. M&M private investigations or whatever they were doing, but it had its moments here this season too, that they referred back to it in a joking manner, of course. Yeah. Not a serious.
So now the drama really pops off.
Oh God.
Because guess what? Taylor found out that Dakota slept with someone.
Okay. Well, she found out about the one because Jesse didn't divulge the other part about the Jenna thing. She was like, that one we need to keep under wraps, because like the Shania thing, Shania and Dakota hooking up, Taylor's not going to be happy about that, but that won't cause a mental breakdown in the way that if she finds out about Dakota hooking up with Shania and hooking up with Jenna, I think that will scramble her eggs. That's going to break her brain.
Yeah, well, she found this out from Dakota. So I also like that Dakota like didn't come completely clean, which he knows is a problem because he's done that before, where he only tells like half the truth.
I think Dakota knew that it was like, this is the part that she can handle. So yeah, that's it. That's all I'm going to divulge.
I'll leave it to MomTok to tell her the other part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm not going to do that. No.
So she starts screaming at Miranda because Miranda is, I guess, the closest friend from this group
Really,
to Shania.
yeah, like really friends with
Yeah,
Shania.
she's really friends with Shania,
Yeah.
and she's like more in her group of friends. So it's her fault because she knew about this and she didn't tell Taylor, and Taylor feels like she should have told her, and she's mad at her for it.
I don't like that Taylor gets mad at women for stupid shit that Dakota does.
No, that's a good point.
I don't like that
Yeah.
at all. Like, and it's very clearly like she's mad at Dakota, but then she isn't able to place a lot of that anger with him because they're not together.
Yeah.
She doesn't have
Well,
a reason.
she does admit to that later, where she's like, I feel like I take my anger out on everyone else who's around me
Yeah.
rather than, I mean, she takes it out on Dakota too, but he's not in front of her at all points in time.
Right.
So then she takes out her anger on other people.
Yeah, and I don't like where it mostly it's been going to, it's either the women that Dakota hooks up with, or it's her own friends that she then blames for, oh, you didn't tell me, or how long you knew, or whatever. And it's just like, that's not their job. That's not their responsibility. That's not their fault.
I think it's really gross too that she expects her friends to like monitor Dakota's behavior.
Yeah, when
Like,
it's
you're not in a relationship.
you're not together. Yeah, he's single.
It's really, someone needs to tell her it's not your business who he sleeps with.
No.
I understand that it's hurtful if you find out that somebody who's friends with you or you feel like is trying to be friends with you is sleeping with your baby daddy behind your back, if that's the way you view it.
And I get it where it's like, oh, all of these people who are close to me or supposed to be close to me knew this thing that was like detrimental information and didn't tell me. Like, that feels like a betrayal. I understand that part of it. That wasn't really what she was upset about. She was mad at, oh, Miranda, you brought Shania into this group and that was just somebody else for Dakota to fuck. And it was like, I don't think that's where we need to be upset. Like, if you're going to get upset with your girls, get upset with your girls about, you guys didn't tell me sooner. But also it's like, well, we didn't want you to fly off the handle like you are right now.
The level of reaction that you have to this information is why people don't want to tell you it.
Yeah.
Also, like, there's the added layer of she's going on The Bachelorette, and they're all terrified that she's going to do something and mess it up at the last minute. So that's why they're not telling you.
Yeah, because you'll back out of this, like, you'll
Right?
bail.
They don't want
we don't
him
know.
to ruin the experience for you of going on The Bachelorette because you're going to be upset about this, and then you're not going to want to go,
Yeah.
which is what they've been worried about the entire season.
So, like, Miranda did the only thing that she could do. She was apologizing to Taylor because she's like, yeah, I'm sorry that I'm sorry that Shania's my friend or whatever, or like,
It's not like she controls Shania's behavior either.
these are all adult people who are interacting with each other. And yeah, like, the same way that Taylor cannot control what Dakota does, Miranda cannot control what Shania does. So yes, they're going to end up together. That's out of our control. That's not something that we get to decide. Unfortunately.
I like the way she ended the phone call where she was like, I'm very busy. I've got to go edit some videos, but I fucking hate her. Like, just to make it clear, I'm still very mad about this, but I am busy and I don't have time to keep complaining about it as much as I want to.
Right. Well, she's going to hang up on Miranda, but then she's going to call Jesse. She's going to call Macy. She's going to talk to a bunch.
Let me tell you, Miranda was going, and listening to her on the phone. And meanwhile, she's texting everyone.
Oh, yeah, because
to
she's
give
like,
them a
red
heads
alert,
up.
warning, everybody. Yeah, heads up, incoming.
Because Jesse already knew. They're getting ready for the Sinner Sunday thing that's supposed to be happening. And Jesse gets a call from Taylor. And Taylor...
Well, there was emergency
happy.
texts that were coming through because it was I think that was Miranda giving everybody the heads up, red alert, and then her phone rings. So then Jesse's like, well, I better grab this one.
She's so not into it because before she even ends up picking up, so she got the text from Miranda warning her that, Taylor is out for blood against all of us at this point.
Yeah.
And she was like, that's so unfair. We were just looking out for her not being a mental patient.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to make sure that she doesn't get to the point that she's already at right now.
At this was what we were avoiding.
Yeah.
And now it's here. So yeah, and it's calling me right now, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, we get all caught up onto speed of like what Taylor's going through right now, which she's not doing good.
Mm-mm.
She's storming around her house and ranting and raving, and
the only thing she knows about is still the Shania stuff. So Jesse's like, just so you know,
heads up,
and we get everything out in the open. He also hooked up with Jenna, the same Jenna from when you were pregnant. So just get mad about all of it at one time, please.
Yeah,
to do this,
just lump it in,
time.
yeah, with this, and just if you're gonna be this mad about Shania and Dakota hooking up, just throw Jenna into the mix too.
She's so immature. I gotta tell you, I am really exhausted by the Taylor Dakota stuff.
Yeah.
And the way that she is so explosive in her emotions when it comes to it, it's getting really old. And I'm not one of her friends who has to hear her complain about this on a daily basis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She then posts a TikTok that says, just found out the snake in the middle. So it's a video of her and Shania's in it. The snake in the middle is sleeping with my baby daddy, meanwhile crying to me because she just got dumped by a married man.
So confirming, yeah, that was a different guy.
Yeah.
Because you were wondering that. But yeah, not.
I mean, doesn't that kind of tell you something about Shania's character as well?
Yeah, I mean, you should probably know.
Did she know the guy was married, or did you find that out at the end?
Oh, I don't know.
That does make a difference, I feel like.
If
she was knowingly
engaging
in a relationship with a married guy,
somebody who was separated from their spouse, but then ends up with whatever. I think Dakota saw her as like, oh, prime candidate for exactly what he's trying to do, which is sleep with someone who's in this close vicinity with Taylor, so that she finds out before the Bachelorette. That wasn't working, so then he had to jump Jenna's bones too, just to make sure that, like, if it's not the one thing,
they don't find out the one, they'll get the other.
Yeah, and then hey, odds are if the one didn't push her over the edge, finding out about both, that'll really make her head explode.
What I don't like is that she feels the need to like slut shame another woman.
Yeah,
right? Because is it anyone else's business who Shania had sex with?
I don't think so, especially when it's two single people. Well, I mean, we know Shania's judgment based off of qualifying single people that she sleeps with. I don't know.
I mean, it sounds like it's an improvement from the last relationship she was in.
Like she's making progress here. Okay, let's not, try to stomp that out.
Not to do the same thing as Taylor, but
but I'm just saying.
She had, a consensual hookup with another person who was single. Why do you need to then air her dirty laundry? It's not even dirty laundry. Her personal business to everyone who follows you because you're upset about it.
Because now the Taylor army is going to go descend on Shania's posts and continue to slut shame her of all of these horrible things.
I really think that she will not be happy unless every woman in Salt Lake City refuses to sleep with Dakota.
That's hard to expect everyone on the planet. I think not even just
she wants him to not be able to find anybody who is willing to be in a relationship with him or hook up with him, and then she will be happy.
Yeah, but also she doesn't want to be in a relationship with Dakota, so then it's like she just wants him to. Oh, okay, to an extent.
I think she does if he wouldn't do all the things that he continually does to her. But he's shown that he has just as little impulse control as she does.
Right. That's the issue here is just it's not even lack of maturity. It's a lack of respect too at a certain point of if you're going to be in a relationship with someone, I mean, generally their emotional processing seems to hit a pretty steep limit as well as far as what they're able to handle in terms of these storylines and stuff, because again, it's just Taylor's supposed to be packing for the Bachelorette. She's just wandering through her house and screaming at the top of her lungs about how she's going to go get these people and like just all these different things. She's like a mom on Unexpected who's going to catch a charge. So
she really needs to go to anger therapy.
Yeah, like anger management stuff. Yeah, or like something. But I mean, like, I feel like that's a big part of it because she's still like in the blow up phase. Because then there's like this stage that you've reached with Taylor where it doesn't matter what you say to her at this point. There's no like logical, you're not going to get through to her, change her mind, steer her any direction. Now she's asking a bunch of questions. She goes into like her detail seeking stage where then she wants answers for like all these different things of when people found out, what happened, what took place, how many times did the P go in the V? Like, it's just all these different like intricate details that she then requires. Then she has to like blast people on social media. She has to drag them online to get that out of her system. There's like these different stages. She gets
validation from other people to tell her that she's been wronged by somebody.
Yeah. So it's like these different stages that she goes through, but like we're in that kind of blow up stage right now where she's ready to just burn everything down.
Did she call, it was Mikayla? She calls someone while Mom Talks all at this event. And Shania walks up the stairs and walks over to them. And they're like, shh, don't say anything. She's on the phone. She's on speakerphone screaming at us right now.
Yes. Yeah.
So they have to get off the phone with Taylor to then talk with Shania. And they basically just tell her that she's been used by Dakota. Like, he doesn't care about you. You're not special. He does this kind of thing to every one of the women that he's hooked up with that he's just used to get back at Taylor. And so I think she's like in a mindfuck moment too, because the experience that she has when it's just her and Dakota is very different from the input she's getting from the outside world.
Yeah, and she's like buying into it a little bit more too, because then that's what Miranda's even finding out, where she's asking, like, do you see a future with Dakota? And Shania's like, I mean, like considering it, thinking about it, trying to explain how she does see a future with it. And Miranda's like, ooh, that's not good. I don't like where this is going, because like you're trying to make it make sense right now, and we're here to tell you that's not what you should be doing at all. I thought I made that abundantly clear in the Country West Fest, Red West bathroom.
Red West.
I thought I made that abundantly clear during that conversation, but no.
I don't think she's the sharpest tool in the shed.
Well, and it's just she wants these things to be true. It's like a catfish, sort of scenario.
The same thing as Taylor does, though.
Yes.
Where I think Taylor wishes that all the good things that Dakota says to her, or all the apologies that he gives and how he promises he's going to change, that those things will actually pan out and be real, and then they're not.
Shania gets excited when Dakota shows up late at her house with a couple of sugar cubes and a bushel of apples. And she she gets very excited.
Oh, boy. All right, so this is where she starts then blowing up Mikayla's phone. Taylor does.
Yes.
And so they have to walk outside the party. This is where they walk past the fire breathers and everything that's going on.
Well, this is where like the fire breather is still doing, or like the fire eating. I think she's eating the fire.
There's a full-on performance happening while they're on the phone with Taylor.
Because the fire eater's like, oh, I'm supposed to do this like while people are around. Like, should I just keep going? Like, I guess I'll just keep doing it.
You could just see all the people at the party through the window, and then they're all outside, and Macy looks like she's looking around like mortified because people are walking up to come into this event, and they're all clustered around Mikayla with the phone on speakerphone, listening to Taylor flip out.
Yeah,
because she's still mad at Miranda.
She's ripping into Miranda again. Yeah, how this is her fault because she has slutty friends that she brings into the group. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, she upset me too because I thought Miranda was boring the first season that she was on. And now I kind of like enjoy a little bit of her personality now that we've seen more of it. And so I was upset that she was coming from Miranda.
And again, Miranda has been friends with Taylor long enough where she's like, you can't reason with her. You can't.
She just sits
combat
and takes
this.
the abuse.
Yes, that's what they all do. Layla does that. And Miranda does that.
And I'm sorry, I do find it abusive. You're a 31-year-old adult woman. You're not teenage girls.
Because Jesse kind of pushes back a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I think that was like when she was letting her know about the Jenna aspect of all of this too. And she's like, you need to know. Here it is. Now you have all of the information. Do whatever you're going to do.
Jessie loves to feed into drama when she feels like she wants to. But then when she's tired of somebody, she'll like try to shut down what's going on.
Yeah. And I think she's sick of seeing the way that it plays out.
Sick of Taylor and Dakota.
It's the same way it plays out every single time.
That's the night before they all have to go do the photo shoot for the season 4 intro. So they changed the intro video because they cut out to me. And every season, they come up with a different theme. I guess Shania wasn't available, so they just went to another stable. And I'm sorry, it was too many. It was too many, too close. I'm sorry. It's too many.
I think they were just glad that they didn't have water for this one. They didn't have to be submerged.
They had to be so upset when they had to get their hair wet last season.
It's been like every season they were like in water,
emerging out of water.
Yeah.
Well, this time they had like some sort of cocoon that was referenced. It was just a bunch of sheets.
I don't know if they
looked
cut
like
out
it was
of
a bunch
that
of fabric that was.
Yeah, it was like, was that something that didn't make the final edit, or were they just referring to it was that like inside the gazebo thing? I think it was inside
that thing because it was like those were all the individual shots.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So they were referring to it as a cocoon. It wasn't really, meant to. We didn't get that full symbolism from the finished product, I guess, if that was their intent.
Well, luckily, they all have time to kind of get their story together before Taylor shows up because her call time is later than everyone else's, which there was a little shade thrown at her about that.
Yeah. I think that was that Jessie had to remind her. She was like,
when you're the favorite, you get a later call time.
You get the latest call time on the sheet. We were supposed to all be here at 8 a.m. But honestly, if you made Taylor's call time 8 a.m., you think she's rolling in?
No.
7:55, 8 a.m.?
No.
She's going to get there when she gets there.
She's rolling in at 8:30 at the earliest with a giant
I'm saying 10 o'clock.
venti Starbucks.
I'm saying 10 o'clock. No, not before 10 o'clock.
The largest swig cup that she could possibly find in the other. A giant bag with like all of her stuff that she needed to bring with her, like shoved into it. And she still got her Cookie Monster pajama pants on.
Of course. Underneath everything else.
Yeah. And like 2 different color Crocs.
Because in some ways, she's always wearing her Cookie Monster pajama.
She never takes them off.
She never takes them off.
They're
in
fleece.
spirit. In spirit.
Mm-hmm. They're polar fleece.
They're always there. So Miranda's still venting, complaining, where it's just like, I feel like I'm back in 2022 again. Like, I was caught in the middle of the whole swinger escapade stuff, and like when that drama was coming to light. So it feels like I'm just caught in the middle again of Taylor and not her spouse, but like her
situationship.
Her guy.
It's not even that.
Yeah, like,
and I feel like she has decided that she has laid claim on him for the rest of his life because they had a baby together. So like now he can never move on and be in a relationship with anyone else. It doesn't even matter. If he wants to just perpetually hook up with people and not be in like a monogamous relationship with someone, he can do that.
Does she do this with her ex-husband?
So the relationship that she has with her ex-husband, she always talks about it as though it's like a good relationship as far as co-parenting goes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It doesn't seem like
much
it,
of the details
right? Like it doesn't seem like they have the same
toxic
sort of toxic draw codependency,
right? But also, no, with the going. No, I'm saying no. They don't have.
No, they
that.
don't. Okay, yeah.
But I think part of that is because he left her because of the swinging scandal and everything that happened, and the fact that she had an affair with somebody and tried to hide it.
Yeah.
So I think maybe he cut that relationship off and wasn't interested in continuing it. Also, it seems like all of the stuff that has occurred publicly since then may be a turnoff to him.
Okay, so like the issue is when he said he was done, when he cut things off, she believes him when he says that. When Taylor and Dakota say that they're done to each other,
it's not real.
They never believe it. And it's always just to draw the other person back.
Yes. I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah. Where were we? So she's caught in the middle.
Oh, with Whitney's still trying to like catch up. Well, because like Whitney and Jen are here from LA. This is like the first time they've been back with the group because it's everybody in MomTok. They've been missing
a lot.
Except for Demi, of course. Because, well, Demi's not really in MomTok anymore. She's not filming anymore. She left on her own terms, and then the show just has happily not invited her back.
Hulu wants you to know she left on her own accord.
Yeah, definitely. But so, like, Whitney's trying to get caught up to speed because she's like, I don't get it. Why is Taylor so upset about Shania when, like, Shania is not a close friend or anything? You know, like, there's not, like, this connection point. And then it's like, nobody explained, oh, yeah, but that's why she's mad at Miranda. She's mad at Miranda instead of being mad at Shania. She's mad at women instead of being mad at Dakota. Like, that's the issue here, right?
I just enjoyed somebody pointing out the fact that this is kind of like irrational.
Like, why do you care? Yeah, like, why are you so invested in this when it has nothing to do?
Why are you acting like it was a betrayal when this isn't even someone that you knew that well?
It's
like,
not
you didn't know Shania that well.
Yeah, Shania wasn't a super close BFF, and then Dakota's a single guy. So, like, who cares? Mm-hmm. Why does Taylor care? I don't know. But then what else do we get? Oh, it was Dakota
was up all night. She was up all night too. That's part of why I think they gave her the late call time, because they knew she wasn't going to be showing up here.
Yeah.
She was on the phone all night with Dakota, getting love bombed by him. He was trying to desperately stop her from going on The Bachelorette. At one point, he suggested they could get married.
See, this is what I'm saying. Of like, this feels like. Does this feel like storyline now? Like, have we completely pushed past where, like, this is just to amp up the interest in?
I know that you think
Dakota and Taylor's relationship. Will they? Won't they? Sort of draw so that when Taylor goes on The Bachelorette, that's what everybody's wondering. This is what the big question is going into that season.
Right. How does Dakota fit into the picture?
How does he? Yeah.
That's possible. I just never really get the vibe off of Taylor that she is creating inauthentic storylines just for the sake of, like, the show doing better.
Not to say that it's inauthentic, because I think that there is a level of, like, truth in it. So I don't think it's inauthentic. I think it's, like, played up. Or they keep repeating the cycle and they're not intending to break this or separate entirely because they know that it is good for the benefit of the show. Maybe. Multiple shows at this point.
I just think Taylor really gets off on knowing that at the end of the day, Dakota always comes and grovels back to her. That it doesn't matter who he hooks up with, what he does. At the end of the day, he still wants her above everyone else, even though the way their relationship would work wouldn't be acceptable to her because he's a cheater and will just keep repeating the same pattern. I think that she likes feeling like he just can't shake her.
There's a level of, well, it's like a self-worth validation for her. Mm-hmm. And that's where a lot of this is stemming from.
That's why I think she asks a lot of those gross, detailed questions too. Is because she wants to then compare and know that she's the better out of the two. I think he tells her that.
Yeah. Right.
Like, oh, every time that I cheat on you, it's not worth it because, you know.
The best of the best.
Yeah. You're still the one that I think about.
Right. Right. Well, and then that always leads to why they hook up after he sleeps with somebody else, because then she needs to remind him what he's missing out on. And so that's been the dynamic that we've seen on repeat here. So I don't know. It's like, because I was even hesitant about like at the LA thing, like, did they actually have sex? Did they just sleep in the same bed? But then they're telling everybody that they're having sex. Like, is it...
Or they let people make assumptions and don't correct them.
Yeah. Or they're drumming it up because then that looks better for this dynamic and the will they won't they sort of element here that they're playing up.
It's a good question. I think we won't know until we see The Bachelorette now.
That's the whole point.
That's the answer.
And that's the whole point. Like, that's that's what it's driving to here. Yeah. But in the meantime here, Whitney is accidentally starting a fight with Jen because there's kind of this dynamic. Well, Whitney's excited to tell Jen about, hey, I have this opportunity. I'm going to be Roxy Hart in Chicago on Broadway. And Jen was like, oh, yeah, Zach told me. And so then she's like, oh, why didn't you talk to me? Like, why didn't you?
If you knew, why didn't you say anything to me about it?
Why didn't you bring that up? Or like, congrats. And it's like, well, it's because Jen's jealous. But like,
Jen won't tell you that.
Jen's not going to bring it up in a positive way of like, she's excited for you, because she's not.
Also, we're getting two different stories here because Whitney's like, we see each other every single day when we're in the studio at Dancing with the Stars, and we text every day. So like, if you've known for like a week, how come you didn't say something to me? Whereas Jen's making it out like, oh, we don't really have any type of communication. It's just like when the show gets filmed that she says something nice about me. And other than that, we don't talk.
Right. So there's a disconnect there. Definitely. I would say the fact that she knew, because then even like here, okay, there's a couple layers to this, because like, I think the aspect of Whitney being excited to tell Jen and Jen cuts her off and says, Zach already told me. I think that was
the
explanation.
Way that, yeah, it was the way that she responded to it. Whereas you could have let her get it out and say it. And then you could have said, I'm so excited for you. Zach told me about it the other day.
I've been meaning to.
I wanted you to be able to tell me.
Yeah,
and like,
I was excited to see your reaction here.
I knew you'd be excited to share it.
However you want to frame that, however you want to set that up. But to just immediately cut her off and say, yeah, Zach already told me, and leave it at that. And Whitney's just like, oh, okay. Like, I was excited to tell you, but now I'm not. And like, okay, why didn't you say anything then? Like, if that was the case, I'm very confused now.
Well, then Jen just uses the opportunity to kind of like skewer Whitney, because she's like, well, I didn't tell you because honestly, like, I don't think we're really friends because you took Demi's side at the reunion. So I feel like you can't really be friends with me if you're friends with her.
Okay. Again, news to Whitney. Yeah. On this of like, she thought that they had a relationship going into Dancing with the Stars and that they were able to connect there still. I mean, I don't think that Whitney and Jen were BFFs. I don't think that they were, deep conversation stuff that was happening.
It wasn't Mikayla and Macy.
No.
They're not two pizza in a pod or anything like that. But I do think that she felt like the level of their relationship improved.
Yeah.
And like maybe it is just friendly coworkers, but that's better than hating each other.
Better than what it was. And I think I think Whitney did a good job of like squashing anything up front or giving Jen an opportunity to, hey, do you want to discuss this? They
show us the flashback.
They show the flashback of when Jen moved into their rental for a minute. And Whitney and Connor were both talking with Zach and Jen about how, like, we know that we are still supporting Demi. We don't want you to feel uncomfortable in that. They were very upfront and honest about discussing that. And Jen's like, no, it's not an issue. And
she's like, I don't really want to talk about it, actually.
Yeah, like, I'd be better to just not even address that and just leave it as it is. Like, if you're friends with Demi, cool. And then we can have our relationship. And I think that's what Whitney's calling out. She's like, I can have relationships with multiple people that are on functional levels. But Jen, if you're expecting me to not have a relationship with somebody just because you don't agree with them, that's not a fair expectation to have on me of like what my relationships look like based on how you're feeling about that type of a thing, right?
Well, I think the gross part about it is that like Jen's starting to struggle on Dancing with the Stars, and Whitney is still excelling and like having really great scores. And then you're starting to express negativity towards her. And that's where it feels like, what's the motivation for it? Is that you've really been upset about this stuff the whole time? Or is it that now you're upset about something else? So these other things are now bubbling to the surface because it's an excuse to be mad at her.
Yeah.
That isn't, I'm jealous of you.
Right. Things aren't really adding up for Jen's accusations against Whitney, though, because then the whole reason why she's saying, I don't feel like we're even friends at all. And then Whitney's like, I was the only person that defended you when you were taking a step back, when you were pregnant, when you were overwhelmed. Everybody was talking shit about you in Arizona. And I came to your defense, which they had footage of that.
All the little voices of everyone in the room who's like, that's true.
That's true.
That's true. We were talking a lot of shit about you, Jen.
That is true.
She's the only person who said something about not doing that.
So, like, I mean, like, Whitney had these opportunities where it was like she was showing up for Jen, even in those times where it was not.
Look, I don't agree with her being friends with Demi either.
I don't like it.
Like,
I don't like that either.
I wouldn't even want that close of proximity of someone to Demi because I just think that she's not a good person. But I don't think that's why she's actually upset at her.
I don't think that's the reason why she's actually being upset. And so, like, that doesn't help. And then also the claims that you're throwing out there of why Whitney has failed you as a friend, none of those make any sense. Because, like, those are all being combated, like, pretty much instantaneously by everybody in the room. And then production's flashing back, too. Which I was like, is this just gearing up for a Jen villain season then?
I think so.
I think that's what this is.
Yeah.
This is the split where it's like we had to do something interesting. And again, it was that dynamic of it was Jen's departure. She got voted off on Dancing with the Stars. And so that was kind of like the conclusion for that dream for her. And where it was like, all right, well, now we need to have this be like a character shift point for me because that storyline's resolving. I don't need people to root for me now. Let's go a different route.
I think it's so interesting how this show is built all around breaking the fourth wall. Like, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Because the earlier seasons, like, there's always like a thesis statement, right? Like, can MomTok survive the swinging scandal fallout?
Yeah.
Now it's, can MomTok survive if we're all fighting each other over fame? And I think that's what the next season's going to be about.
You're right. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of what this one's about,
Mm-hmm.
but it's only going to escalate as they get more and more opportunities outside of just being on this show.
Right.
So, yeah, Jen got eliminated from Dancing with the Stars on week 7, and she's just completely devastated by the fact that this was something she was dreaming about doing for such a long time, and now it's over.
And also the other opportunities aren't really pouring in.
Yeah.
And then Whitney's still getting opportunities, which I think that's the whole other level of the hurt, the betrayal that Jen is sort of feeling in this process, but she doesn't want to admit to that. She doesn't want to talk about that.
Well, one of the things I kind of wonder if she's upset about and she won't say it is that Whitney was like a bad person on the show, right? And last season she did not get a good edit because it was just like she's fame hungry. She's only coming back here because she's driven by what else the show can give her, the stepping stone versus the friendships and, relationships with other people in the cast. And that that's a bad thing. And yet people are voting for her. More people are voting for her than are voting for Jen, who just came off a season where, you know, she found out she's pregnant. She's having a hard time with her mental health. She's having to take a step back. She's being painted as a compulsive liar by somebody who, you know, I think people consider to be a liar now. So I think she was genuinely confused about, like, how is someone who has such a worse reputation than me doing better than me in a show where your personality is supposed to help drive votes for you?
But did the Irwin take his shirt off yet? That's what it really comes down to. I think that's what
right.
Jen's missing. That's what the show's
other part of the
That's
voting.
what the show's all about, Jen. That's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter about the votes. It's about popping that shirt off. Hips and nips, baby. That's what it's all about.
God. So Whitney's been blowing up her phone because she wants to talk to her. And, you know, they got into this big fight when they were shooting that intro. And she's trying to apologize, but Jen won't answer. So she gives her an apology over a voice memo.
Which is awkward.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not the best delivery format for that. I don't use voice memo ever.
Me either.
Ever.
I get weirded out when I get one.
I don't know. Well, and I don't have an
Isn't
iPhone.
That weird for people? We have a podcast. Like, wouldn't it just be like second nature just to just record ourselves talking and then send it?
You think so?
I don't know.
I don't like recording stuff on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like doing that. I really don't. So it's just, yeah, voice memo never made sense for me. So an apology, maybe not like the most heartfelt, sincere sort of venue, I guess, is what I'm getting at here.
Well, she tries to make plans for them to meet up in person so she can then like extend this apology face to face.
In person. Talk through it.
Instead of Jen showing up, she's surprised to see Zach is waiting for her.
So this is fucked up because Jen, if you work out something to like, oh, me and Whitney are going to meet up and have a conversation about all this stuff that happened, and then you just send Zach there in your stead to have that conversation for you, and you don't tell Whitney ahead of time, and she's completely blindsided. This is messed up.
I don't like that. I feel like there's a weird power dynamic that creates where like Whitney didn't expect to see somebody else there and not Jen. And then it's your husband. And it's like your husband's here to yell at your friend about the fact that you don't accept her apology and you don't want to talk to her. That's weird.
Well, and especially, yeah, like he's really laying into Whitney about like, I think that you're fake and that wasn't a genuine apology. I listened to it and it didn't sound good. So it's just like, okay, another reason not to do a voice memo for an apology, because then, yeah, when you play it back or if somebody's going to provide additional context of other things that were happening for a conversation, maybe there's some bias in listening to that of like, oh, it doesn't sound like a genuine apology. It doesn't sound like she's being sincere here. So it's just like, it's open for criticism. It's open for interpretation on all those different levels now that you weren't necessarily prepared for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I don't like any of that. And then it's just a lot of blaming on all the horrible things about Whitney and just how she's a terrible friend to Jen and doesn't support her. And so it was just like the berating side of it where it was just like tearing Whitney down.
Yeah.
I didn't like any of that.
No, me either. And then, you know, like Whitney definitely wanted to speak to Jen because what happened after Jen got eliminated was she got on TikTok live with Jan and she made a video on live.
Right. Yeah.
Where people in the comments were saying things and somebody asked, who are you going to be voting for now that you got voted off? And she made it very obvious that she would not be voting for Whitney.
Right.
Which just seemed... I'm surprised the show wasn't mad at her.
Well, that
Dancing
ends
with
up
the Stars.
Right.
Because it's like poor sportsmanship to get voted off and then tell everyone who you're not going to vote for because you don't like them. And I think Whitney felt like, I think here's probably what's underneath it that Whitney won't say out loud, is that there are going to be people who will not vote for her now.
Right.
Who maybe voted for Jen, and instead of giving their vote to now the other person who came from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, they're going to vote for someone else because they're fans of Jen. And Jen said she wouldn't vote for Whitney.
Right. Yeah, it's like the primaries.
So I do think that there's maybe a selfish motivation in it for Whitney as well. I don't want to act like she's, innocent and everything. But it is gross to show up to something where you think you're going to be talking to your friend, and then it ends up being her husband.
Because then it doesn't end well. Yeah, like Whitney just kind of storms out because she's then upset about all these things that Jen has done, and Zach's like, I don't know, yeah, maybe she shouldn't have done that. He's kind of defending Jen, though, because that's his wife, and then he's still here to shit on everything that Whitney's been doing. And so Whitney's like, all right, well, I came here to have a conversation with Jen, and that doesn't seem to be happening, so, like, I'm out of here, basically. Mm-hmm. And, like, she's in shambles after this, because she's, like, all messed up. She's calling Connor while she's outside, and Connor's like, I'm gonna rip Zach's fucking head off.
He was really mad.
He was so mad about just that power dynamic, that conversation, and just like the man, making a woman feel small was his whole takeaway of that too, was just like,
he
this
felt
is
like
gross.
That's why Zach held that meeting in the way that he did.
Yeah. And it's just like, that was just super inappropriate. Just to expect a conversation with your friend, and instead they send their spouse to then berate you. Mm-hmm. That was messed up.
Yeah,
Anyway, you
I don't like that. I feel like maybe if it's like a family member, and like you want to do something like that, like I feel like maybe it's a little different. But someone that you're like casually friends with, like you're not even really that close of friends, your coworkers, and you send your husband to go tell them like why you won't accept their apology, and then everything else that you think they've done to wrong you.
Well, I don't like
weird.
I don't like the sending your spouse to like speak for you thing. I don't like that side of it either, because it's just like, Jen's a big girl and she needs to be able to go have that conversation with Whitney if she feels a certain way. If she doesn't want to own up to the stuff that she said on the live. Mm-hmm. She doesn't.
It's a way she can avoid accountability for what she did.
She's ducking that responsibility here too. And Zach's giving her that pass by saying, well, I'll go and like give Whitney the brush off for you, basically. So I don't like that part of it, of like speaking for your spouse in a lot of that. And then I don't like that it's, absolving Jen from some of that responsibility for the things that she's already said, too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, two parts to that. But yeah.
Okay, things kind of get like really dark when we turn to Layla's story. Because until now, we really haven't had a lot of Layla this season.
No.
As far as like having an individual storyline.
Okay, and I will say, we were giving Layla a hard time about the modeling storyline, and I don't feel like Layla really holds a lot of attention in the show when it comes to like storylines that she has and stuff. I will say I felt sympathy and empathy for Layla in these last 2 episodes, because like this is something that she is struggling with. Like this is a real thing. And again, it's that breaking the fourth wall aspect, because this is kind of like a glimpse into like behind the scenes almost of Layla's storyline, because this is now her storyline is like modeling, right? Or it was going to be
trying to take her career.
Yeah, like career-based opportunity modeling. And then it's like, okay, well, now like go another layer behind that. It's eating disorders and trying to like enhance her opportunities with that, which it's like, it's not though.
Well, I think what it's, so we find out that she did not get signed by Ford.
Right.
So that's where she went for her, go see
that interview
last episode.
Yeah.
And all she knows is like they rejected her. And because she's rejected, she feels like it has to do with something physical about her.
She then spirals where then it's, oh, what is it about me where I don't look good enough? I'm not small enough. I'm not, it's like all of that chain reaction.
Right. What's wrong with me?
What's wrong with me? It's the insecurity there.
Which, like, why wouldn't they give you feedback?
Well, I think it's because you showed up.
You didn't have a book.
I think it was because you didn't have a book. You showed up unprepared for an interview.
I felt bad that I'm like, I think she took this really personally.
Yes.
As far as like what she physically looks like.
Right.
And that it wasn't good enough versus
No.
how prepared she was professionally.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, no, you put a ton of work on their plate by walking in the door.
Yeah.
Where,
I mean, we don't know, again, why they rejected her.
I'm
but
just
from
saying.
what we observed, like they asked her if she had something and she was like, no, I have it digitally.
Yeah.
Okay, but like, can we look at it? Because that's usually what happens in these meetings.
Yeah, like we want to see the work. But, and so if you're just going to walk in the door and then say, oh, I don't have that thing that is like a pretty big requirement, then you're putting it on them to, oh, let's get photographers scheduled. Let's
you have to
take
invest
time.
a lot of time in you.
We have to do the footwork, the legwork to put this together to even consider you. That's all barriers.
Mm-hmm.
That's all barriers for them.
Well, to get you working, we have to get you to the point where a lot of people are walking in the door and they're ready to start working.
Yes.
Like
that's what I'm
for
saying.
them,
It's like
it comes down to making money.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, that's the basis of it. And it could be that simple. Like it could be just that they didn't want to pull, photographers out of rotation basically to try to mentor this person who doesn't have as much experience as the people who are competitively walking in the door and trying to go on those gigs instead.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, it could be that simple.
You just never know. I
know,
also feel like, when
she
you're
spiraled.
like in like an industry like this, sometimes it's as simple as nepotism, where it's like, someone else who knows someone, got signed
a
over
referral of somebody who had an agent who has an opportunity, whatever. Yeah. So it's just like, it could be any number of things of why they didn't sign her.
But she's been silently struggling with an eating disorder for years. I mean, it sounds like it goes back to like being a teenager.
She was saying, in high school.
And there are points in time where she's doing better, and then there's points where she like relapses. So this put her into a spiral.
Yeah.
Where we find out that she's been abusing GLP-1 medications, which was like, what?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out
for someone her size.
she
already.
Even, I mean, I understand that there are places you can go, and I'm sure in Utah, since there's, like an aesthetics like place on every corner that you can go get a prescription from someone.
Yeah.
But the fact that she said she's 5'9", I don't even want to know if I want to say her weight, just because I feel like that could trigger some people.
Yeah.
But she's very tall and very thin. I mean, that's obvious just from observing her with your own eyes. She does not appear to be someone who is struggling with losing weight and needs the support of a GLP-1 medication.
Yeah, right. Well, and then she's telling Jesse and Miranda this, like she's having this conversation because she's like, I'm constantly exhausted and in pain, and just like my body hurts, and like it was just all of these negative, terrible things of what her experience is right now. And that's when Jesse brought it up of like, are you going to stop using that stuff? Because she was aware of it. So it's just like, if it seemed like that was a scene too of like, if it was Mason finding something, we didn't see that
in a trailer.
It was in a clip of either like a mid-season preview or somebody like going in her fridge and being like, what is this?
Taking a little
vial out.
Yeah.
So then it was like, okay, well, I don't know why we didn't see that or like see more of that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, because it still became, a big topic of conversation in these last few episodes. Yeah. So it was definitely Jesse bringing that up of like directly asking her, are you going to stop that then?
And also, I don't want it to sound like, because I know there are people who use GLP-1 medications for other things, not just weight loss, because there's other benefits, but that is what she's trying to do with it.
Right.
She said like she felt like she had some stubborn weight that she couldn't get off, and she somehow got prescribed something, and she's been taking it to lose weight.
And then it's been, it kind of like then escalated from there, because then I think it tied in with the insecurity from that rejection that happened too. Was then it was like, oh, maybe it's because of this, and then I need to keep doing, the weight loss. And it was just like, oh, no, that's not it.
It just seems like really irresponsible. I don't know who prescribed her
dangerous.
that medication.
That's dangerous.
Irresponsible and dangerous. Just to have somebody who has a history of an ED and have them be on a medication where they're trying to lose weight through using it.
Right.
Seems like a dangerous combination that, I think that's kind of the unfortunate thing of being able to like sometimes access medications through other means than going through like a primary care doctor, like someone who's familiar with your background.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
A lot of people,
maybe not.
don't maybe feel like their doctor knows them that well. But yeah, this is probably, I'm sure, a real thing that a lot of people are experiencing.
Yeah. And so like Jesse calling that out too and being like, hey, this isn't healthy, like this isn't like strong is healthy. And it's
Jesse and Miranda, I feel like did a very good job of talking to her about this and to being sensitive with the language that they used.
Yeah.
And we find out that Jesse helped her find both it's in and outpatient.
Yeah.
Like one of the best eating disorder centers in Utah to go to. So they did show that they've gotten her someplace to start working on that and to get help.
Yeah. So that's been good.
I have a hard time with the show because they mix such serious,
like
topics like this and like Mikayla's past history.
Yeah.
With things that feel like they're so insignificant, like Taylor getting upset that a single person hooked up with her single baby
person.
daddy.
Single people hooking up. Well, and also to swing into like the other big to shift into the other big like drama for these episodes was how Taylor almost didn't go to the Bachelorette. Like that was the other part of this. So coming off the heels of these huge
like a high
stories of like
storyline.
Oh my God.
Of like something going on in someone's life.
Incredibly serious. The stakes are very high. And then it's like, oh, Taylor's like almost screwing up her opportunity to be on the Bachelorette. Okay.
That's why it was hard to feel bad for her. Cause it's like, this is your own creation, right?
Yes.
That you're making yourself so upset about what someone else did that you're going to sabotage your own experience going on the Bachelorette.
But this was the stuff where it was like, okay, it's Dakota rolling up to Taylor's house to drop off baby Everclear the night before Taylor's going to LA for the Bachelorette.
They needed someone to like stand guard at her house overnight and keep Dakota away.
Jesse and Macy and like she needed a whole swath of people out here for this. But instead he's dropping the kiddo off. And shocker, of course, Dakota ends up spending the night. So he doesn't leave until the next morning, which this all feels staged to me.
You didn't believe it. I kind of do.
I'm not buying it.
We're in different camps.
I'm not buying it. Yeah, this feels like forced storyline, forced drama to get us to watch The Bachelorette. Is what it feels like. I'll tell you another reason why. It's because the next morning when Dakota's calling Taylor while she's like, all right, no, we'll get to it. Okay.
Well, first we had Leanne and Taylor's sister, Aspen. Her name's Aspen, right?
Aspen, with an E, not with a Y.
They show like up because they're all supposed to go to the airport together.
Yeah.
They're all flying to LA together for the Bachelorette. And Taylor's still in bed. And they're like, why aren't you up and ready to go? We have to leave. Like
you had an 8 a.m. call time today.
Yeah.
And she wasn't ready for it. Go figure.
She's like, I just feel sick. I can't get on the plane. And Leanne's trying to convince her that it's just that you're anxious. Like this is normal. You need to just push past it and get on the plane.
Yeah.
She won't listen.
I don't think that was it. I don't think that was the reason. Why? Like, she was probably up all night because Dakota was there for several reasons.
Uh-huh.
But like, is that enough to warrant you're just going to miss that flight? Because she was basically, Taylor was looking at it as like, I'm not taking the first flight out. I'm not taking this flight that we have scheduled. I'll catch the next one. Like, I'll be there tonight.
No one trusts that if they go ahead that she's actually going to get on this other flight.
Correct. And also she's trying to say she's sick. She doesn't feel well. She's so ill as part of this now. Like, that's the other reason why she just needs sleep. She just needs rest. And everybody else is just like, okay, well, Taylor gets to do whatever she wants to do, and we'll just meet her in LA, I guess. So that's what Leanne and Aspen are doing. They're going to take the kiddos and head there, and hopefully Taylor meets up with them later. Don't know. Not sure what to expect. But as they're rolling up to the airport, the gals of MomTok have gathered with their signs.
Okay, some of them were very creative.
They were sending Taylor off on her mission.
I liked Macy's drop your baggage.
Drop your baggage with Dakota's picture.
Dakota.
Because, yes, that was going to be absolutely necessary as part of this journey. And they were making it tie back to, it's like this is an airport where a lot of people come back from their Mormon missions. So they were treating this as like Taylor's mission to go do the Bachelorette. Maisie you're freaking me out here, kid. Because she's straddled across the two chairs where there's like a gap in between. So please don't fall down. Okay. Safety first. There we go. We got to get situated here. Okay.
Yeah. I thought that it was nice of them to show up to see her off, and like they had all the signs, and they were pissed because they're like, we got up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
To be here because she was supposed to be gone by 8 or whatever.
Flight. Yeah. Like this is one of the first flights out, probably.
And then they're trying to watch people come down the escalator from the departures floor, I guess. And they see some people come down the escalator and they're like, that's her. That's her. I know Taylor. That's Taylor. No, and then they look closer and they're like, wait a minute. That's just Taylor's mom and sister, but there's no Aspen. Taylor.
Yeah. Where's Taylor? And then they're coming over and they're like, oh, where is Taylor? She's at home. Yeah, she's not here. Mm-hmm. And then Jesse's like, oh, but didn't she sleep with Dakota last night?
Well, she assumes it's because of what happened with Dakota, right? And Leanne's like, what are you talking about?
Excuse me?
This is the first time that anyone has said anything to them about the fact that Dakota was there last night.
Go figure. Yeah. So now that's becoming more evident, where now the gals from MomTok are like, well, we're going to go bug her. We're going to go wake her up again and see if we can't encourage her to get on this flight, or at least a sooner flight, something than what she would have eventually taken the last flight out of here, probably to LA. So like, we got to see if we can get her moving, and then also remind her that if she doesn't show up, that Leanne and Aspen are not going to be doing childcare for her anymore. So I think that's another risk that's being thrown into this, another threat here.
Lose her babysitters.
This is her intervention now, her Dakota intervention. And if you don't get on this plane right now, this is our gift to you.
I thought that whole scene was so weird where they like broke into Taylor's house and she's just in her bedroom with the door shut, yelling at them through the door.
Yeah, about how she's sick. She's ill and she just needs sleep right now.
They just like gave up at some point and left.
Yeah. Which, again, seems staged to me. This is a way to like converge a lot of storylines and get people to interact here as like a finale moment.
Uh-huh.
And so it was a way to highlight that, because that's what you're doing for the filming process here. But
well, it's also weird because she does get on this later flight.
She does.
So I'm like, was she always scheduled to take the later flight?
Right? We knew that she had a different call time.
I don't know.
So like, does
she just always
out?
Get the later thing than everyone else?
Right? Like that would make more sense, that they would know, don't book Taylor for the first flight. She's going to be on the later one.
And then there was a rumor that Dakota had driven her to the airport. We don't see that.
We didn't see it.
We see after she lands and she's in LA, she calls Dakota, or Dakota calls her.
Yeah, they're
and they have like
FaceTiming.
their final conversation before she goes on The Bachelorette.
Because it is Dakota pouring his heart out to Taylor here, like one last chance before she's gonna get out of the car, and they literally start filming The Bachelorette with her getting out of the vehicle from the airport, and he's apologizing to her. I'm so sorry for hooking up with Shania. This doesn't have to be toxic, yet they continue to make it toxic at every turn.
Can, like, change the relationship.
He's eating his Taco Bell product placement meal on the counter, which that's the other reason why I'm like,
you felt like the whole
they're
thing was staged.
hammering this for, this is all for show.
Yeah, even the line that he says to her about save a rose for me.
Literally. This is to tie it in.
It felt scripted.
It felt
You're
scripted.
Right.
It felt staged. It felt fake. So for a show that breaks the fourth wall so much, they really built up a fourth wall in this scene specifically. Mm-hmm. Also, Dakota did not order a Lux box. So if we needed any more reason to hate this man, he's not saving money. So I really don't like it. Mm-hmm. I don't like that at all, actually, if we're being totally honest.
Did you see what he ordered so we could judge it? Or
it looked like he's probably a chalupa man.
Oh.
Probably. It looked like... It's hard to tell because, like, everything's the same shape.
Yeah.
From Taco Bell.
I know, and they use a lot of the same, like, wrappers and everything.
Yeah, because it's interchangeable on the wraps, because it's like, is it a chalupa? Is it a cheesy gordita crunch? It's hard to tell. But chalupa's a little chonkier. Yeah, you can tell from the width from that one.
Someone should ask him his Taco Bell order.
Yeah. What would that look like? I don't know. But it's a love-hate sort of admission from Taylor here. And then she still lights up every time where it's like,
I
he
thought
admits
she looked too happy to be on the phone with him.
Yeah, he admits that he loves her, and then but it is like, I love you and I hate you admissions from Taylor as well. And it's just like, okay, well, that's not good. And then to keep thinking that this is something special or that we need to keep working at here. No, it's not improving. So just like, stop doing this. Stop doing the same thing over and over.
Do you think that she ends up with somebody on The Bachelorette?
No, absolutely not. So that's what I'm saying is, like, as much as this is to drum up The Bachelorette, I don't think it helps with, like, I am not expecting anything coming out of that show at all. And, like, if that's what people are hoping.
Great
like,
pitch for the fact that we'll be covering it on Patreon.
I'm just saying. Like, no, I'm not expecting anything for her. Like, yeah, we're going to have stuff to talk about. We're going to have stuff to talk about.
I already saw that they're penning her. What's her? They're saying she's going to be the most unpredictable bachelorette ever.
Which, that was what we had called out too, was we were like, I think that's what they needed. Like, The Bachelorette, that got too formulaic, where it's that like, it's that Instagram early 2010s sort of
veneer.
The perfection, the image of perfect, flawless. And I'm just looking for my partner on here because I'm this perfect person. And then I need to find love. And it was this very like polished, fake, the veneer of it, the whole thing. So I think they are trying to break out of that format.
I think there's a lot of other dating shows now that people are into watching that are created by, streaming services and stuff.
Yes.
And they're trying to figure out how they compete because they don't have a show that's that messy.
Right. Yeah, I think are
there like messy moments for The Bachelorette and The Bachelor?
There have been. Yeah, there can be.
But those are usually like looked at as huge scandals. Not like that's the norm throughout the entire thing.
Right.
Whereas like you watch Love is Blind and you expect it to be messy.
Yeah. And I think that that's what they're looking for, is a little bit of grit, a little bit of, kind of a curveball, so to speak, like of what to expect, because it gets formulaic then. If you just have fake people pretending to be the best versions of themselves and then it falls apart as soon as the cameras go away, that's not entertaining. That's not interesting. It's boring now. I know what's going to happen. It's a bunch of people playing pretend and imagining that they're in. It feels like a waste
of time.
Yeah, imagining that they're in a perfect relationship that it clearly is not. So, like, why am I going to watch that? I'm not going to waste my time doing that. I need to see some crazy shit popping off along the way. I got to see Dakota, rappelling out of a hot air balloon in the middle of a field or something that's going to happen. I don't know. We didn't get screeners, so I don't know.
I also think that she's just like a pretty vulnerable person as far as like what she's willing to share on TV and online. And they like that.
Yeah.
Because I think it usually takes a little bit for whoever's the bachelor or bachelorette to start feeling comfortable being like the focus of the production.
Yeah.
And I think from the minute that they start filming her, she's going to be an open book.
Right. Yeah. Like it's, and it's hard for usually the person who they pick to like drop that act of that perfect person sort of thing, where Taylor is immediately just like disarmed, we'll disarm that.
What else do you want to know? Because like the most embarrassing things that have ever happened to me have happened to me publicly. So
yeah, right. Yeah. And it's like, she doesn't avoid that. She meets it head on. So I think that's always been the thing too, is like Taylor has been, very familiar when it comes to controversy. She's usually at the heart of a lot of those elements, especially in the stuff that we've seen on this show too. And it's just like, okay, so how does she do that in the Bachelorette format then? And like, if something does come up, she will be the first one to talk about it too. So it's just
I can't wait to just like make some guy leave in like the middle of like a group date, because I feel like she will. Yeah,
she'll like not, she's like she has standard, kind of has standard. She's trying to have standards. I think she would be.
She holds standards for everyone but Dakota.
Everybody except Dakota.
Yeah,
I think that's what it comes down to. So that's what we're really worried about. That's not where the show ends, though.
No, we got one more scene because Jesse's got to hold her annual Halloween party.
Right. Well, she just needs to expense all the decorations. Yeah. So, yeah, it has to be part of the show.
I forget what Miranda... Do you remember what Miranda's costume was this year? Because nothing's
topping the crab.
The crab claws will never be.
No, because her walking up to the... Yeah, no. I wanted to see her open the door with the crab claws again. That's what I wanted to see.
So we find out that both Dakota and Cheyenne, what's her name? Shania are here. My brain cannot process the spelling of that. Shania.
Shania. Yeah, that's literally, it's like phonetically how you would spell that out, I guess.
That's not how I would. Shania.
Right. Shania.
Anyway, she's here, which bold to show up to a party with all of Mom Talk and Dad Talk.
Well, Taylor's not here because she already left to be on The Bachelorette. And that's who Shania is trying to avoid at this point. So she doesn't really have the same level of fear knowing that Taylor's not going to be there.
Dakota does go up to her and tell her that he slept with Taylor before she left for The Bachelorette. So...
And he's dressed like a red flag. That's his costume, which is applicable, especially when he's...
It's like, what else do you need to find out about him?
When he's literally telling you, I slept with Taylor the night before she left for The Bachelorette. And then Shania's like, well, I'm real glad we had that sex pact then. And it was like, well...
Again, that only applied to you.
I remind you?
You didn't read the fine text.
It was a one-way sex pact. That was just you committing to me. That wasn't me committing to you.
Okay, out of everything that felt forced and fake, this was the thing that I couldn't handle.
This is the cherry on top for me.
Jordan and Jesse are outside, and Dakota comes out there and starts talking to them and kind of catches them up on like what he just talked to Shania about. And then he tells them that he's a little worried about Taylor going to The Bachelorette because like they slept together twice going back to Red West. What was it?
No, it was before that. That was the oh God, what were they in LA for?
Oh, it was Dancing with the Stars premiere.
Dancing with the Stars premiere.
Okay, so back at the Dancing with the Stars premiere, they slept together. Then they slept together again right before she left last night.
That was about a month ago, and Taylor had told him
that she has not gotten her period.
Well, that during the Dancing with the Stars premiere, she was ovulating when they had sex at that time, allegedly. Even though I still don't know if they had. I'm not buying it.
You're not buying a lot of this.
I'm not buying that they had sex at the Dancing with the Stars premiere. No, I'm not buying into that. And then this was the other element too here of with Jessie like delivering that line. Is she going to be the first pregnant bachelorette? And it's just like that. Yeah, that's something they're going to drop in trailers for everything. So it's just like those lines, and then Dakota's still trying to amp
she's
it up.
Not, because she'd be like 6 or 7 months pregnant.
Yeah,
at this
it's
point.
like not happening. But like to ramp it up like that, and then for Dakota to be like, yeah, and she's been really sick. She's been all extra emotional and all over the place, and like her hormones have been all out of whack and whatever. And it's just like, you're trying way too hard to sell me on this.
Oh, but I do think that this dude is like hoping so much that he'll get another kid with her.
That's the last thing they
lock
need.
it in, you know? He thinks if he's got 2.
I really don't think so. It's not going to help your chances. Having 2 kids with Taylor, I don't think that's going to improve any standing that they have with each other at all. The one kid really isn't doing wonders for him right now, so I don't think the second one's going to help. Just saying.
I'm excited to see The Bachelorette, to be honest. Like, I want to see how Taylor handles it, because some of the dating that we saw her do in this season wasn't so good.
Right. Well, even just like the fake rose ceremony, the practice rose ceremony that they were doing here, it doesn't seem like she's going to be really on it with this stuff. I don't think she was watching. She wasn't a big fan of The Bachelorette type of a thing. Jessie seems like she's watched every single episode multiple times.
Yes, she does.
I think she's ready for a Bachelorette season, but she can't get that divorce in time.
I wonder if they're going to have like crazy dates this season, just because like, is there going to be a brand that wants to sponsor something because it's like, you know, Taylor's an influencer, she's on this other show. They expect like a lot of viewership on The Bachelorette because of her.
What does the Taco Bell date look like? I don't know.
I could see them doing something like that.
Yes.
Because she was talking about how she's going to be as the Bachelorette and how like she's not going to leave her Crocs at home. And, you know, I want to see how they handle that. Because like you said, the Bachelorette has been like very curated is a word that you could use for it. And I'm not sure that the Cookie Monster Pajama Pant girl, as much as they think they want to embrace that, I don't know how much they're truly going to embrace it.
They're like, I don't know if they don't know what they've signed up for at this point either. So like, what are they going to show us? I hope that they do, because then that's the other struggle that happens as well, is where it's like, okay, well, if the producers are picking her, the team that is actually making the show, though, like the production elements, are they going to be on board with that vision too? Are they going to be willing to embrace that sort of shift into this less polished, less, you know, it's a completely different presentation of this person and what we're doing here? Like, do you become a parody of your own show at that point? So like, then that's where some other power dynamics can come into play as far as the actual production of the show would go, and those editing options that become available to you, and just like, how do we frame this? How do we present this to the audience in this way?
Well, the other thing we don't know is if we're going to get a reunion for this season.
I don't know. Yeah, haven't
we
heard
haven't
anything.
seen anything teased yet, but they've had a reunion for every season, haven't they?
Right.
So I guess if that comes up in a week, or it's got to be before the Bachelorette starts.
I think it was, well, that was the other tricky part too, was I think that they were gearing this whole season where it was like, they want to make you watch The Bachelorette. So how would they do a season 4 reunion if The Bachelorette's not over yet?
Well, she was gone for 8 weeks. I don't think that they would have her leave in the middle of that to go shoot the reunion
Right.
for this.
Unless it was just, oh, Taylor's not available because she's filming The Bachelorette, so she wasn't here for it.
I'm just going to be really disappointed if they end up dropping a reunion and then it was filmed after she finished filming The Bachelorette and it's like, I don't know, you're going to have to tune in to see if I found love.
Yeah. Like, because it's still airing at the time that it's
If it just turns out to be a
yeah.
giant commercial for The
One big
Bachelorette, I'm going to
tease.
get pissed.
Yeah. So hopefully we don't get into that. But I think it took about a month from the last one because it was like mid-November that season dropped. And then it was about mid-December, like early mid-December that they had the reunion drop.
So I guess we'll find out.
So maybe that might be like a mid-season point for The Bachelorette or something, or if they coincided with like where they filmed that reunion to like happen to be like right where she was at in The Bachelorette in the process of filming.
I wonder if they'll drop it like a week after, 2 weeks after The Bachelorette starts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or something.
Or right before
Well,
it.
I'm just saying, like, if it's like a month out, then we might be like 3 or 4 episodes in on The Bachelorette.
Yeah.
If they gave her a break for that, or like right at the mid-season of The Bachelorette or something, where she was able to film this, and then now it just plays in as like yet another trailer of, oh, if you've already missed the first half of The Bachelorette, here you're kind of caught up and like go watch it.
I mean, they love to promote another show.
Oh, they're cross-promoting.
Yeah. So I don't think they'll miss the opportunity to do it.
Definitely. Yeah, they're coordinating everything for these elements here. So I could see it being something like that.
What did you think about this season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives overall?
Okay, we talked about this a little bit. I mean, like, it started right out the gate. Like, the first 2 episodes, I was invested. I wanted to see how things played out. I think we did get to like a completion, a resolution on most of the stuff. They did tie in some other cliffhanger things. I didn't really bite on it. It felt a little fake, but like top to bottom, I would say that this is probably the most like well-rounded season of this show that we've ever seen.
Well-developed storylines.
Yeah, because most of the time it was like hit and miss on they present these stories and then we kind of get like a half-assed resolution or like sort of a cliffhanger into the next season. They want it to be a cliffhanger, but like I'm not really invested or I don't really care in that element that they're trying to get me to come back with. So it was always a very confusing show, especially those first few seasons. Sometimes it takes a little while for production to kind of figure it out and get a rhythm of like what they're doing.
What show they're making.
Yeah, what is this and what is it that people are tuning in for? Like, what do they like about this? So I think those elements, personally, like it took them a while to get here, but like I think season 4 is probably the best season overall that we've had of this show, honestly.
I like that you can tell they're maybe setting up storylines for next season with changing, rivalries and who you feel is good versus bad.
Yeah.
I think you need that with a show like this.
Yeah, it can't be the same every season.
I'll be interested to see Jen's villain era.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Coming.
I think it'd be cool.
I need them to stop with the Dakota Taylor thing.
Yeah, that's enough. Like, it's way
can we just put it to bed after The Bachelorette?
But like
no more of it.
Not Dakota and
not
Taylor
that
in
bed.
the bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Right. Just I don't want to hear about it ever again.
No. Can't do it. Won't do it. Don't want it. At all. No, thank you.
I am wondering how Whitney's going to be on the show next season because it's going to be while she's doing this Broadway run. And there's shows, I think, every day of the week except for one. Yeah. If I'm remembering
Whitney's booked.
What it looks like, the calendar.
Whitney is booked.
So I don't know if she's going to be participating on this show.
Or if it's just going to end up being like it's behind the scenes stuff of, like that's all she's got going on right now, at this point in time. Because it's not really, they didn't really, like lay any groundwork for drama between her and Connor or anything that's going on with that. So just like.
It's just her and Jen.
It was her and Jen. And so like, how does that play out more?
I don't know if Demi's going to come back. I'm going to lose a lot of respect for the production of this show if they just decided to take a break with her for a season. Because we saw her through like the 3rd episode, right?
Yeah.
And then no more of her.
Right.
Because she
backed out.
She backed out
allegedly.
of filming, according to
Allegedly.
them. I kind of think they're waiting to see if this lawsuit from Marciano brushes over. And then maybe they might bring her back.
I don't want her back. Yeah, we
I
don't
don't
need her
either,
back.
but I think that some of the other like people in MomTok would support her coming back. Taylor just shared a story from Demi like
Gross.
yesterday about their billboards in Times Square. So
Yeah, no.
I don't think that she is on the outs with
Don't
her.
bring her back. We don't want her back. I will throw in a friendly reminder that after season 1 of this show, I think you said that the only person you could be friends with was Demi.
Okay,
So
that was
I'd like
when
to throw that out there.
season 1, they were all presenting themselves to be people that they're not.
It's true. That's true. Yeah.
So
who would be your friend now? Like of anybody on the cast that you would have? I think I know the answer.
who?
Who do you think?
I don't want to say it
Why not?
because I already have a bad reputation from siding with Lisa Barlow, and I know that people are not going to be surprised by the answer.
What is it?
I like Whitney.
Oh, I don't
Oh,
think
who were you going to say?
I thought you were going to say Miranda.
Oh,
I thought you could be friends with Miranda.
I don't know. Sometimes Miranda's funny
Yeah.
a little bit. I don't know her enough
Yeah.
to make a judgment call on that. I think Whitney is like if one of these things is not like the others, it's Whitney. And I'm not saying that she's above the drama or anything, but I think she
lives a very different life.
She's in the drama club.
Oh.
And
She does big things.
That's
She
what
lives a
makes
very...
her different from everybody else.
Well, okay. There you go.
And that's a little bit more my speed.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be sitting with the popular girls at lunch. I'm sitting with like the nerds and the band geeks and the art club kids. Exactly. Well, what's coming next? I guess a reunion potentially at some point.
Yeah, we'll keep an
just
eye out.
Drop a random episode, I guess, whenever
keep
that
an
comes
eye
out.
out. Yeah, we'll be paying close attention to it. Don't know where it's going to happen. We'll be doing Bachelorette updates too. So like over on our Patreon, we do every other week, we do Let's Talk About It episodes. And then in those gap weeks, we'll be doing Bachelorette updates.
Yeah, so we'll cover the Bachelorette every other week, and we'll do like kind of a mini recap of 2 episodes at a time.
We'll catch up.
Kind
and
of
just
summarize 2 at once.
General assessment here, similar to what we were doing with
Yeah,
these. These were
yeah.
2 episodes at once, so it's just kind of conversational, whatever happens with that too.
Also, here on Surviving Reality on the main feed, you're going to be getting 7 Little Johnstons starting, is it going
This
to drop
week.
the 18th? It premieres on St. Patrick's Day on March 17th.
March 17th. Okay, yeah. And then the way that we're dropping those episodes is you'll get the Patreon episode is on Wednesday morning, the 18th for this week. And then the public feed episodes will be dropping on Thursdays. So the 19th this week. Because we're setting it up like that, because Plathville's coming back. Welcome to Plathville at the end of the month. And so those will still be the Tuesday night after they air. We'll be dropping those on the Patreon and then Wednesday morning. So that just leaves room for the Plathville to fit in on the schedule as well.
So you'll start getting Welcome to Plathville at the end of the month on Wednesdays, and you'll have 7 Little Johnstons on Thursdays. And we got the screeners because it's a back-to-back premiere for 7 Little Johnstons. It's 2 episodes in a row. I'm excited about the season.
This is going to be big. Yeah. And I think, maybe we were talking with Kimberly from Date with Dateline, and she's been watching the show.
She's an expert in 7 Little
an
Johnstons.
expert, so she's a big
We're
fan
going to
too.
try to find a date to
Try to do
record something together.
a date with Kimberly from
Yeah.
Date with Dateline. So
That was cute.
stay tuned on that as well. But yeah, big updates.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.